This hard drive enclosure kit comes with all of this. First of all, a 12 volt 2 amp AC adapter by a company called KTEC. We have an eSATA to SATA adapter cord for motherboards that have a SATA header on them, but not an eSATA port. We have a 3-foot long eSATA cable and a 3-foot long USB cable with this style end. We have a assembly guide manual in the languages of English, German, French, Spanish, and one of the Asian languages as well. And then we have a biggie with screws. Most of these are inside the enclosure itself right now. And we have the enclosure. In order to install a hard drive in this enclosure, it is extremely easy. All you do, and it might be a little bit difficult with one hand, but the first step is have the bottom cover off, and then just slide it down in there as carefully as possible. And then, if possible, with one hand, you just connect it to the eSATA connector. There we are. It's now connected. And then we secure it on both ends. One screw here, one screw there, another screw there, another screw there, approximately. And you do this by sliding that off. And ta-da! You have 2 screw holes on each end. So you tighten down the hard drive with that, put these back on. And then you use for some included screws and put on the bottom panel. And there are 5 hard drive screws. This is the one remaining, and 2 are used on each end. 1, 2, 3, 4. And apparently this one came with an extra because we only need 4. And then there are 2 very small screws, one for each of these ends, to screw in right there and on the other side. And there are 4 thumb screws for the bottom cover. After about 3 hours of mostly idle time, meaning mostly idle, barely active, on this tabletop, the fan being off, it has reached 59 degrees Celsius with the internal sensor on the hard drive. 59 degrees Celsius. And the metal enclosure is nice and toasty, so it is dissipating heat well. But let's turn on the fan now, and in a few more hours I will tell you how far the temperature has decreased. That's on. That's off. And after leaving the drive overnight with the fan on, being mostly idle, it has reached a temperature of about 38 degrees Celsius. Very nice and cool. Now, have a listen to how loud the unit is with the fan on. Then if I turn on the fan, in conclusion, this enclosure is a pretty darn good enclosure. It is very stylish. It is all metal except for this and the other rectangular piece. Other than that, it appears to be completely metal. And it is thermally very good. It had my Caviar Black 2 terabyte at 59 degrees Celsius without the fan on. With the fan on, 38 degrees Celsius, which is very nice and cool, about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So with the fan running, keeps your hot running high performance hard drive very cool. Dual interface, USB and ESATA, I like that. A couple of gripes would be that there are no pads on the bottom to increase friction because this is very smooth, and something to prevent this from possibly scratching delicate surfaces, the 4 screws on the bottom panel. And one other gripe would be power consumption. Without any hard drive plugged in whatsoever, but it plugged into power, and the fan running, it takes 5 watts. And I have discovered that the fan takes 2 to 3 watts, and the AC adapter takes 2 to 3 watts. So a total of 5 watts without any hard drive. And with my Caviar Black in it, it takes 14 watts with the fan running, being idle, and up to 17 watts, usually 16 watts when it's seeking with the fan on. So the wattage adds up, but still it is not insane. In one note I should say to you, people who see this video who bought this on Newegg, the RX358-S, I don't know if that stands for series or not, but at any rate, this is what came from Newegg. And one note I should give to you is on the description on Newegg it says it supports up to 2 terabytes, whereas under features here it shows it only supports up to 1.5 terabytes. So you should see an annotation bubble on the YouTube video right now if I discover an issue with this 2 terabyte drive when I fill it up. And if you don't see a bubble, there is no issue. So, in summary, this enclosure is pretty darn good. The power consumption is adequate. There's nothing to complain about. 5 watts is not huge. It's you would expect a couple watts of energy inefficiency with the wall wart and a couple of watts for the fan. So it's a great enclosure. You should go and buy it for your high performance drive.